Squawk, squawk, fellow sorrowers, and welcome back to the part 2 of exposing what it is to toast, to cheers. It's another Saturnian ritual, straight out of Saturnalia, okay, to energise the Arqueen, the demiurge. So, a few things I missed from part 1, which I will mention now at the beginning of part 2. Okay, so when you cheers, you're doing it with a liquid-based formula, correct? Okay, so there's your water straight away, which is what? Your fertility, which is what? Femininity, okay? The negative female. That's what it is, okay? So, along with that, it's alcohol. So when you energise by all cheering together, cheers, the toast, it's invoking, yeah, the spirit, yours and mine. This is just me putting a few things together out of speculation, okay, and I'm sure it will be tackled with skepticism, but I believe that speculation will teach you a lot more than skepticism ever will. So, I'm going to read you this little story, real, I'm not sure about that, hard to tell, hard to be shown these days, but considering it's from a source, from a site called Vine Pair, well, Vine is vein, isn't it? An anagram of. And the pair, well, that would be the reptilian part of the brain and the mammalian part of the brain, what we've been paired with, which is why we're always at odds with ourselves and each other. Okay? Anywho, let's get to it. So, hopefully you're up to date if you've watched part 1. This came from a dream that I had where there was a cocktail with centipedes in it when I looked down. A martini with millipedes in, however you want to look at it. Reminded me of the worm in the tequila. That's not quite it. So let's see how they've worded this article, okay? In the era of craft spirits, and yes, even lawsuits about the handcrafted of craft spirits, blah, 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 it's unlikely somebody would plunk a bottle of tequila in front of you, point at the worm floating around in the bottom, and challenge you to eat it, okay? Unlikely for 2 reasons. Well, we're all much classier these days, and thank you very much. So vain. See? Vain. But the second, far more important reason is there never was a worm in the bottom of the tequila bottle. Okay? Not trying to invoke. What did I just say about spirits? Yeah? They're a narcotic way of channeling into your vessel. That's why people can never remember what they do when they drink spirits. Gin. Yeah? There is no spoon. Yeah, just taking the piss, aren't they? The worm in the bottom of the tequila bottle is an old school myth, right? Misunderstanding, born of some marketing savvy. Probably. Sorry, there's a point to this. I will get to it. Okay. So, mezcal can be made from any variety of the maguey succulents. The heart charred before distillation. The heart charred. Okay, when you toast, right there is an inversion, isn't it? Because it's water. But you call it by a title that would invoke fire. So, the charred heart. Right? Stay with me here. Okay, so when it says here, get as a reward for your worm-eating bravery, It's double-barreled. It's a double entendre. What they're saying is the worm eats bravery. It's eating your bravery. Okay. You got to understand how they're writing this. You understand how they're writing it. You see that you're not reaching. Okay. The worm itself is actually a moth larvae. Okay. Called a Gusano di Maguey. Since it feeds off of the Maguey plant. Okay, well, moths are insects. Insects are archons, aren't they? If they were being drowned in booze, each of these little guys would actually turn into a night butterfly called the mariposa. Okay? The night butterfly. The 88, the tears, butterflies, yeah? Without tequila or any double dog daring, if that isn't a Canaanite reference, I don't know what is. Plus DDD is 12, which is 3, which is Saturn. Okay? Just trying to get you the best of the worst here. Okay, a Gusano Rio is a better worm to have in your bottle since it feeds off the heart. Feeds off the heart. So, it's just another way they speak. On a level of keeping things incognito from you, but not from each other. The flavour of the spirit. You know, it's just the way they put things. Eyes to see, ears to hear, you know. You get it like that. Calling it a myth. The worm being a myth. It will be until you realise that it's a reality, because it's inside your bloodstream. We know what the worm is, the one I'm speaking of, don't we? Sometimes a heart would be roasted with worms in it. Hopefully this reads for itself. Okay? Here we go again. Even today, with Mescal making a strong, high-quality comeback in the spirits world. The spirits world. The words they use. Yeah? There is a comeback in the spirit world these days, isn't there? When it comes to archontic influence, especially under the guise of alcohol. The bottle's complete with worm, brackets a tiny packet of worm-flavoured salt. It's still out there. Yeah? So, it's just more ritual. Okay? I'm trying to emphasise the evidence of part 1. It's just another ritual. Okay, this may stem from Mexico, but it's in every culture. It always has been. Since the dawn of their time. I never say the dawn of time because time does not exist. But it does to them because they invented it. They didn't create it, they invented it. An invention doesn't necessarily have to be real or true. It can be a myth. Like this apparent worm. Yeah? So, be careful and be full of care when it comes to what you drink, because a lot of the time it ends up drinking you. Love you all, whether it be on the inside or the outside. I will see you all on the other side of the cube.